Okay, let's get started. Let me introduce myself. So, myself Venkat, and I have around 13 years of experience in SAP, in which around 6 years into MDG. So, from the past 6 years, I've been working in SAP MDG. Okay, so let's get started into the session today, and then at the end of the session, we'll be explaining the course details and anything. Okay, so so we know what is master data. So, and let's understand what is master data and what is the importance of master data in our regular life. Okay. So we know many e-commerce portal. We got Amazon, Flipkart, and etc. We got so many e-commerce portal, and they used to sell so many products like electronic items and groceries, and they got clothing, and they got furniture and etc etc. So if we take any product, like let's say I take laptop. So laptop got different brands. So we got Dell laptop, sorry, Lenovo, HP, and Apple, etc. So let me take a particular brand, Dell. Okay, again Dell will be having different variants. We say Dell Inspiron and Dell Latitude and Dell XPS and Dell Vostro. Various, we can say it as models of Dell. And let me take a specific one, Dell XPS. Okay. Again, in this, we will be having sub-variants. We can divide them based on the size, 13 inch or 15 inch. It may not be the accurate, but I'm just giving a rough idea. And again, in each way, in each display size, you can further segregate based on the processor. Okay, it can be i5 processor or i7 processor. And again, the further segregation would be based on the RAM. Can be 8 GB RAM or 16 GB RAM or any other. And again, how we can segregate based on the color. Let's say they got silver, they got gray, they got gold. So likewise, whatever the product we take, that product might be having the segregations on the model and any variants or any features. It can segregation can be based on the feature or whatever it might be, and few may not be having any segregations. Okay, whatever it is, let's take a specific one. Okay, I would like to take this one and XPS. I take 13 inch and i5 processor, 8 GB RAM with the silver color. Okay, now this would be having some price. Let's say it is having a price of 80,000 INR. Okay, so this price is 80,000 INR, and the number of customers got for this product are around 1,000 customers for purchased this one from Amazon. Now, okay, so far it's fine. Now let's say it has been incorrectly quoted on Amazon e-portal as 50,000. Now again, they got 1,000 customers, and this time they have seen a loss. How much loss would be there? let's make it round figure for easy purpose. Okay. So now this time they might see the loss. What would be the loss? 30,000 per each customer into 1,000. Okay. 30,000 into 1,000. That would be the loss that Amazon would face, or whoever is the seller would face. Okay. So now this, whatever the information that we are maintaining for our product, that is called as master data. And using this master data is one time data. Okay. And whoever is purchasing this product, the purchase transaction details are considered as the transactional data. So that would be having who has purchased, the customer details, customer name, address, telephone number, and etc. details, and the transaction ID and the transaction date and delivery address, billing address. All those details will be maintained as the transactional data. So for 1,000 customers, 1,000 transaction data items will be there, but for all the customers, the master data record is same, single record. We'll be having a single master data record, and in that master data, we found an error in the pricing that leads to the loss to the company. When I say company, it can be a seller or Amazon or whoever is the uh, person, whoever is the source getting benefited from these purchases. So now this is the importance of master data. We have to be very careful in maintaining the master data. So in SAP, we have different types of master data. We got material master, we got business partner, and we got customer master, we got a supplier master, and we have other master data, equipment, function location, and if you say measuring point, maintenance plan, service master, task list, etc. And we have article master. So we have different types of master data in SAP. So now all this master data has to be maintained accurately in order to have the business smooth process. So how we can maintain the master data in a smoother way, and how we can ensure the consistency of the master data, and how we can ensure the quality of the master data. So for that, SAP come up with a solution in the form of a new module called MDG, SAP Master Data Governance. So with SAP MDG module, we can ensure the quality, consistency of the master data in SAP. It can be extended for different master data domains. We have this many domains. So for all these domains, already MDG has been implemented, and still we have so many master datas in SAP wherein the MDG has not yet been implemented. Maybe the uh, pipe, maybe the that idea will be in the pipeline. So we are not sure on that unless it is revealed by SAP. So now we will understand what is SAP MDG and what are the core benefits of SAP MDG and how it adds value to the customers in terms of data quality, in terms of data inconsistency, in terms of adding their business value. All those things we'll be seeing in today's session. So the complete agenda of the today's demo is this one: master data. What is master data and what is master data management, and what is the data governance, and overview of SAP MDG, and what are the various user interfaces we use in SAP MDG, and what are the various business processes available, and what are the deployment options, what is the MDG architecture, and what are out of the box application for MDG, and what is a governance process flow in MDG. Okay. Now we'll see what is a master data and what is a master data management. So the types of data in SAP, we got basis data, we got organizational data, and we have master data, and we have the transactional data. So what we considered as the basis data. So management of memory buffers and creating a clients and client copy users, their roles and etc etc. So all these are considered as the basis data and organizational data. So we know we have the org units, divisions, positions, and we create the different positions for employees, and we create the jobs and sales areas, distribution channels, all these reference data. We configure SPRO for material, like we have the plant, that is the reference data. So valuation area. So all these are considered as the organizational data and master data, as I just explained. So we have different types of master data and transactional data. We have sales orders, purchase orders, and general ledgers and assets. All these things are the transactional data. So out of all these types of data in SAP, we would be focusing on this particular area, master data. And the initial sessions would be complete theoretical. Maybe it would be little bored, but we have to understand the core concepts. Okay, so we would be focusing on the master data mainly in SAP MDG. So MDG deals with only master data. It won't deal with the transactional data, but it would be leveraging the organizational data. Okay, when I say leveraging the organizational data means, so let's say I want to create a material. When I want to create a material, I need to have the reference data configured in the system. So I'm creating a material, so I am assigning a plant to the material. So if the plant is not configured in the system, how can I assign the material? It's not possible. Okay, so the organizational data, the reference data has to be available in the system, and that has to be leveraged, reused by the master data in MDG. And basis data, of course, it is mandatory. Without basis data, we cannot proceed with any types of other data. Only restriction, only limitation here is, I cannot say limitation, is the functionality. So only the functionality restricts using of transactional data in MDG system. Okay. So I can say MDG uh, uh, don't manipulate or don't controls the quality of transactional data. It controls the quality of only the master data. Even it won't control the quality of organizational data. MDG won't control the quality of basis data. MDG controls only the quality of the master data. That's it. Simple. Now, so whatever we had seen, so that has been given in this slide. And what are the various challenges of master data? So to make it more simple, master data can be distributed across different locations across the globe. It's based on the client business. So if their business is expanded to multiple countries or multiple geographic locations, so and if they are using the common master data maintained in single source across the globe, so then if any errors are there on master data, then the impact would be more. So that impact would maybe because of the duplicate data or incorrect data or incomplete data, whatever it might be. And that leads into the insufficient analytics. So when they go to the monthly reports or quarterly reports or annual reports, so the analytical reports will results in incorrect analysis. And generally master data has different challenges like maintenance cost. So storage cost, infrastructure cost, and additional cost for data cleansing. So for data cleansing, they might be using the data services or any other third parties, and the infrastructure. So they have to have a separate master data team, and it can be in the form of human resources or the equipment or whatever it might be. So there are different lines of business for each business. So once the master data is impacted, so obviously there would be tremendous pressure on these folks, and it's not always the same line of business for all the businesses. It's just taken a scenario, so that we have to. That's why we have to ensure the quality of the master data. So how can we overcome these challenges? So we can overcome these challenges by governing the master data. So to make it more simple, what is the governance? So the term called government. So we have the state government, central government. So what they do, they govern some rules, they govern some policies on the people, to ensure that people are following the common rules and people are following some standards, and people are enforced to follow those things, so that they can ensure that they get at, at some time at least, so they get the quality in the people, like they get some people are following these rules, and etc. So what are the data governance? Similarly, it's a people governance. So here we are talking about the data governance. Okay. Similarly, how we can ensure the governance of the data. That means how we can impose the rules on the data. So before that, let's see what are the various essentials for the data governance. So, what is a data governance? It's just a set of quality control disciplines. So I don't want to read out the slide. So it's just for your reference purpose. So, but I will explain what is the meaning of this one. So the data governance means it's a set of rules. So wherein those rules are used to control the master data and to ensure the information, whatever the data is there, that is uh, that is consistent as per the client requirement. And why is it effective data governance important to the business? Okay. So similarly, whatever I have said earlier, so maybe that statements might be repeating here. So why the data governance is important to business means, so they have to every business want to have their data to be perfect. They want the quality in their data. So that's why they want to have a separate team or whatever the means. So they would like to have the control on the master data in terms of the consistency, reliability, and the quality, and all those areas. So where is an organization data governance programs are located? So we were talking about data quality, data consistency, data reliability, all those things. Those are just the theoretical terms. But coming to the practicality, so there should be some programs to be implemented to perform all these things. So where are they located? So to make it more simple, wherever the business system is there, which controls the master data, so there the programs should be located. It's as simple as that. And when do organizations need formal data governance? So whenever they feel that their data is not as per the expected quality, and if they feel that because of this master data, they are having a huge impact on their transactions, or if they are starting a new business from the beginning, they want to control these things. And in though there are different scenarios, in all those scenarios, organizations would go for the data data governance. and why do we need it. So I don't want to repeat again. So if we can consolidate all the answers from the previous discussions, we know why we need the data governance. Okay. So any questions so far? I know it might be little boring since it is theoretical. Okay, let's move on further. So now let's switch on to SAP MDG. So so far we had seen what is master data and what are the various general challenges in master data, and to overcome those challenges what we have to do. So we had identified a solution governing the master data, and for governing master data, what technology we have to use. So for that, we would be leveraging SAP MDG. So SAP came up with a solution to govern the master data. That is nothing but master data governance, SAP MDG. In short, we call it as MDG, master data governance. Now we will see what is and what is SAP MDG and what are the features and how the architecture would look like. So I'll come back to this slide later after discussing few things so that it will be easy for you to understand at that time. So first let's see what are SAP MDG capabilities. Okay. So first capability is the governance. So governance is nothing but as we already discussed, it it mainly consists of few rules wherein each of the governance rule controls the quality of the master data. Okay, and that governance also includes various levels of approval for master data. And what is a consistent data? So consistent data means it should not have any errors in the master data. So error free data, we should have the error free data. So SAP MDG ensures that you have the error free data. So sometimes we can yeah, when we say errors, sometimes it doesn't mean that there is some validation is failing, not nothing like that, but we might have entered the incorrect data, so that also considered as a error. So that is the inconsistency data. SAP MDG ensures that portion. How it ensures that we will see. And integration. So MDG can be integrated with SAP and non-SAP systems. So let's say uh, I am implementing SAP MDG for a client called Reliance. Okay. So Reliance already have different divisions of their business. So they have oil and gas, they have retail, they have clothing, and they have, I mean, they have the fashion, and they have, let's say, they have the universities, education sector, and for each of their business, they should be already maintaining their data in some system. It can be Oracle, or it can be SAP, or it can be in SAP again, it can be S4 or ECC, or it can be a PeopleSoft, or whatever it might be. So now they want to have SAP MDG implemented, and if they have the different uh, source systems, so they can integrate. So let's take a particular division of their main core businesses, oil and gas. Okay, oil and gas has been expanded in different geographic locations, and each location, let's say they have one plant in Maharashtra, and one in Karnataka, one in Andhra, and one in Telangana, and one in Punjab, in different states. So in different states, they are already using different source systems. In Maharashtra, they are using Oracle system, and in Andhra, they are using S4, and in Karnataka, they are using ECC, and in other, they are using the PeopleSoft or whatever other third-party system. So now they want to implement MDG. Since the source systems are having different technologies, so you may get a question whether SAP MDG supports this. Yes, SAP MDG supports integration of any SAP or non-SAP system. That is the strongest feature of MDG. Now, reuse. So, uh, if you are from a technical background, let's say you you are needed to enhance a standard class. So what you will be getting the requirement, like you want to have some custom business logic. So for that, what you can do, you will find an enhancement spot and you go there and implement that one. Okay. And let's assume one more thing. You are asked to create a material, and for that you need to write a custom report wherein customer will be giving the data in the form of a Excel file, and using that file you need to build a you need to create a materials. It can be bulk materials in the system. So you have written the logic to read all the data from the file, and you validated the data, and you segregated the data into the ECC tables, compatible structures, everything. And now the question is how to create a material master. So SAP simplified your task by providing you a BAPI to create material master. So for that BAPI, if you can provide the input data, so it will create the material master in the system. Let's assume that SAP didn't provide that BAPI. Now you have to build that complete logic from the scratch. So there, what we are doing is we are reusing the feature functionalities are the APIs provided by SAP. Similarly, in SAP MDG also, we have the reusability concept. So we got maybe these terms are new for you at the moment, but just wanted to call it out. So we got something called data model in MDG, and UI. You might have heard about this term many times, user interface. And we got the business logic. It's in the form of APIs. So these are reusable. Okay. So each data, to make it more comfort for you. So each data model is designed for each master data. For example, for material master, we have one data model. For business partner, we have one data model. And for finance, we have one data model. And for equipment, we have a data model like that. So we can reuse of these data models for creating even the custom solutions. So that is the level of reusability we have in MDG. And the data quality, of course, with the governance process, like using the governance rules and all, we can definitely improve the quality of master data. And the flexibility. So when I say flexibility, um, to give you more comfortable term, enhancement. So the enhancement of the standard features of MDG is very simple in SAP MDG. So whatever the data model is there, UI is there, business logic is there, we can enhance that as per the customer needs in a simpler way. There won't be any complicated process, and there won't be any complexity or uh, trouble in identifying where to enhance and what to enhance. It's not like that, but it is more flexible in MDG. So these are few of the MDG capabilities, and to make it at a high level, so we can implement the governance rules to ensure the data quality, and we can integrate different source systems to MDG, SAP MDG system, And if we want to create a custom solution, it is very easy because of the reusability functionality of MDG. And if we want to enhance the standard functionality of MDG for any master data, so it's very easy for enhancing the standard domain functionalities. So that is at the high level. So these are the various advantages. So whatever we have discussed, so that is listed down here. You can go through later. And use cases of MDG. So what are the various use cases? So as I said, SAP can integrate with any third party system or SAP system, SAP or non-SAP. So s- that feature we call it as central governance. So when we say central governance, let's assume that this is our SAP MDG box, like our SAP systems. If you go to the SAP logon pad, you can see different systems, development, quality. In development, you might have different environments. Likewise, SAP MDG also one environment. Okay, so this is integrated with the different systems, SAP or other SAP solutions, SRM, CRM, or non-SAP solution, whatever it might be. So all these systems are sharing the master data that is maintained in SAP MDG. So there won't be any master data maintained here or here or here. Only master data maintenance will be in MDG system. And from this, we will be distributing the master data to the required third party or external system simply. So that is called as central governance. So whatever the rules or whatever the quality principles we want to apply, we apply here. We apply one time and we reuse multiple times. And consolidation. Okay. So when we would like to consolidate all the master data and prepare some reports, so that consolidation is also possible through MDG. Okay, we collect all the master data from source systems and we consolidate that master data, of course, system wise only, and then we proceed with the reporting tools. And this is the complete picture of how the integration works in SAP MDG. So let's say client has these many third party systems or source systems. Now, so far they haven't implemented MDG. This is their current business scenario. Now they are planning to implement SAP MDG. So they can implement that in different ways. There are different options, but at this point, I will want to discuss only one of the options. So they can implement one common master data solution. When I say common master data solution, one MDG system. And using that MDG system, they want to govern all the master data of these three systems. So for that, what they have to do? So they will collect all the existing master data from the source systems and they consolidate the master data and they load that master data into MDG, central governance system. So now they test the quality of the master data here. And if the governance rules are applied and the data is quality tested and they ensure the consistency is there and everything is fine, then they replicate that master data to the respective source systems. Okay. So let's say it's a ECC and it's Oracle and it's a CRM. So now they collected three master datas and they consolidated, they loaded into the central MDG system and they applied the rules and everything, whatever required, they applied everything and they tested the quality of this master data and they corrected all the master data wherever having the errors. Now the source systems, whatever are there, they should have the corrected data. So for that, we have a feature called replication in SAP MDG. So using that, they replicate ECC master data to the ECC system, Oracle master data to the Oracle system, CRM master data to the CRM system, but only from the single source MDG. That is the strongest feature here. How it happens, that we will discuss more in detail in the further sessions. That is very much important for you to understand how it works also. And it's more or less similar. So we'll be having the data maintained in a different system, different locations, and we'll be having the merging all of them into the SAP MDG single source. And if in future, if there is any acquisition of a new location or new source system, again, that can also be supported in SAP MDG. So any questions so far? Okay. So now we will see in the system how MDG looks like so that you will get some better understanding. So my screen is 4K so that it won't support. So like I said, it's nothing but one MDG system only. So this is the system. It's just like in your regular login, how you log into your systems. Okay. So we have different user interfaces for SAP MDG. I will walk you through one of the user interfaces. You don't worry how to connect to this and all. I will explain later. So now if you see on the top menu, you could see governance of various master data. We have material governance, we have business partner, we have customer, we have financial accounting governance, we have financial consolidation governance, all these things. Now, these are the various functionalities available under material governance. We can search for any material in the system. We can create a new material. We can change the existing material data. We can mark any material for the deletion. Okay. And there is something called change request concept wherein we can process multiple materials at a time. That also available. We can create multiple materials directly, or if we have the material multiple materials in the form of file, we can reuse the file. We can upload the file and the data would be created. Or if you want to download existing materials, you can download the data into one file also. Okay. So there is something called workflow inbox. I will come to this later. And you have the reporting tools available. So if you see here, we got a pie chart wherein you can see how many master data are approved, how many are rejected, how many are in error, how many are in draft state, how many are still in progress. You can see that reporting. These are the change requests. Now, as I said, there is something called replication. When we want to replicate our data to other systems, so we got this replication functionality. We have something called data transfer again. If we have a file in your local system or application server, you can load the data directly into MDG. Now, let me take you through a simple process. Search material. So since there is some issue with the server, so I would like to show you how MDG master data can be governed in SAP MDG. So we got different processes, create, change, and all, as you have seen. So this is the initial screen whenever I want to create a material. Okay, so this is a screen where I can fill in all the data, and the data material will be created in the system. So here continuously you could see a term called change request. So here in MDG, it's not like always like in MM01. If you take, you launch the transaction MM01, you fill in all the material data, and as soon as you save, material will be created. But here in MDG, it's not like that. You cannot, you can do that, but not recommendable. So that can be controlled. And here we'll be defining the governance flow. So when we say governance flow, to make it more simple, let's say you are applying for a personal loan. So as soon as you submit the required documents, are you getting the loan amount disbursed in your account? No. So it should go under certain approvals. So after all the approvals are in place, including the background check, everything, then your amount will get disbursed into your account. Similarly, in MDG also, it's not like after you enter all the required data of material, it will get created in the system. Not like that. We'll be implementing a approval flow, okay, to ensure the quality of the master data. So let's say whoever is creating the master data, that person is creating master data according to their knowledge. Okay, now it can be correct, or it can be having any errors or anything. So now what we are doing in MDG is we are implementing a governance flow. Once the requester, whoever is creating the data, they will enter all the data and they submit the data. Then it will go to the next level of approval. Let's say it's a manager. So manager reviews the data. Once he say, okay, it's good, he will approve that. Otherwise, he reject that, so that by giving some note like so and so data item is incorrect, we should not use this one. Then it goes back to the requester, and requester will correct that data, and the requester will resubmit the data, and then again it goes to the manager for the approval. So that in this fashion, we'll be ensuring the quality and consistency and reliability of the master data in MDG. So the number of approvers are dependent on the business. Sometimes we'll be having single approver, sometimes 5 approvers. So in my career, I had seen max up to 9 approvers. It depends on the business, how they want that to be. Okay. So now once the CR is created, then it will go to the submission. And here the approval or activation, something kind of that will be taken place here. So once the data is approved, if you see, these are the background workflow work items. So once the data is approved, here you can see the status of the change request. The change request is nothing but let's say you are creating a service request in your ITG team. It may be for a new equipment or installation of software or whatever it may be. They will give some ID. So that is a service request number. Similarly, when we are creating a master data or changing a master data or whatever master data, maintaining master data, system will automatically generate one ID for you for the future references. So that is called as change request. So once the data is approved, this is the material 12022. Then you could see the data in the backend. Let me take you to that screenshot. So all these are the steps executed during this creation of this material. Don't worry, we will see all these things. That's simple one on one. So now you could see the material master data has been created in the system. This is how material or governance process works in SAP MDG at high level. So similarly, we have the change. I was about to show you search screen, but there was some issue in the system that can be resolved quickly. So I was searching for a material. this is how the search screen looks like. I can search for based on some criteria or search all the materials that will list down the results. And then this data I can change using the change screen likewise. So this is how the governance process works in SAP MDG. So with this, I assume that you got some idea how MDG system looks like, how the user interfaces looks like, and what are the various activities we can perform in MDG on master data. Okay, so with this, I would like to conclude our discussion for today, first day of demo. So if you have any questions, you can ask. After your questions, I will be walking you through how the course structure looks like and everything.
Hey Venkat.
Yeah.
So in this case, there are no another team resources are not required for this MDG process, right? So you have said the data quality is within the MDG itself we are maintaining, and the reporting tool is also integrated within the MDG itself.
Hmm.
So we usually have the different teams, right, to integrate the data quality. We do have that separate data team used to maintain, and for the reporting as well. So for MDG, everything will be maintained by the single rows.
Yes. Yes, those are the standard features available along with the product. So for reporting and all, we don't need any other teams. So it can be done directly in MDG as you had seen the features in the system. And I would like to add one more point with that. So if you remember the one of the slides I had shown you the initial load. So wherein we have the multiple source systems from different environments, we'd be loading the data into the MDG box. So for that, most of the clients use the data services. So data service team used to collect all the data and load it into the MDG. So once they load it MDG, yes, it's our from that onwards, it's our tech. We'll be handling all those things.
Okay.
So any other questions from anyone?
Yeah, Venkat, this is Vamshi.
Yeah, Vansh.
I just wanted to ask for day-to-day activities, generally, what would be the problems that we face with uh, in this module? The require I am trying to understand how the requirements will be raised, what requirements like that.
Yeah. So generally, so if whatever you have seen now, this is a standard functionality. All these function features, everything is standard one. But generally, what kind of, if I understand your question correctly, so in general, in the project, so what kind of requirements we will be getting, and once we implement that, what might be the issues that we will be facing. So is that your question?
Correct, correct. That is
Yeah.
correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So the requirements, I cannot list down complete set of requirements, but at a high level, the very frequent requirements I would like to call it out. So the first requirement would be changing of this search criteria and search results. And the very frequent requirement or very common requirement is designing the governance flow. Okay. So just so here, if you see in this diagram, these are from my previous project experiences. So here, if you see, here we are requester is creating the master data. It goes to the first approver, and then it goes to the activation step. Now, if you see here, here requester creates the master data. It goes to the approver, and he has an option to reject. Red color ones are the rejection one. So then it will goes to the revision step. Similarly, if you see here, three levels are included. Requester, it goes to the first reviewer. Once reviewer approves, it goes to again another approver, and there they have the possibility to reject. Like this. So this is simply we call it as governance process flow. So this is very common requirement by the client. They want to have their own governance process flow. It here, if you see, it's a three-step. First step, second step, third step. I'm not considering this one because the grayed out ones are the background steps. These are the user actions steps. Okay, so few businesses having 2 step or 3 step, few are having a 8 step also, that possible. So this is one of the common requirements. And another requirement would be, let's say here we are submitting the change request. Now client want to have the business rules. When we say business rules, already standard rules will be there, but as you know, each customer will be having their own set of validations, all those things. So they want to implement their own business rules. That will be another requirement. And the most important one, I cannot say most important, the frequent ones is controlling the access to the UI. Okay, in the material section, as we know, we have material general data, material plan data, material descriptions, material storage locations, valuation, all those sections. Let's say sometimes client don't want the requester to be fill out few details, so we want to disable that one, and those should be enabled for the next level of approver, reviewer or approver. So that kind of requirements also will be there. So these are very common requirements, as well as replication. So we need to set up the replication in MDG. Okay, so that if they have three source systems, so we need to, once the data is governed here, we need to send this data to the relevant source system. Okay, so for that we need to configure the replication. That replication also is the very common requirement. So these are few requirements that we can list out at this moment. And coming to the second question, what might be the issues that we face in real time? So the first issue, authorization issues, we can say, and that will get resolved when we are doing the unit testing or quality testing in the QA environment initially. The reason I can say is, many of the basis consultants or security team are new to MDG, so they may not be aware of what are the authorizations to be provided, because we are regularly facing in our projects this authorization issue. That is very frequent issue. But in our course, we will be discussing how to resolve those things and how to identify those issues. And the second thing would be the workflow. So once we design the governance process workflow, so we have to ensure that it is routing to the correct set of reviewers or approvers. So, and again, for workflow, it's not like we have one background user, SAP WFRT. So for that user, we have to ensure the config. Sometimes when they are refreshing the system, they take the backup of the data, but they may miss to configure the workflow background user. So that is also one of the frequent issues that we face in our regular projects. And of course, we do the custom implementation, so that sometimes it may not work. That is very common one. And the replication, sometimes the replication will fail to the target system. Let's say I have 3 target systems. First target system has to receive only finished material, second system raw material, third system semi finished materials. So we have to do this segregation in MDG itself before sending to the target system. So this segregation might fail sometimes. So maybe first system will be receiving the incorrect data, or the data has been, maybe it is receiving the correct data, but it has been failed. So like that, we'll be facing different issues. So hope I answered your question.
Yes, Venkat, I got the answer. Yeah.
And one more thing I forget to include. So reference data missing. So if we are implementing a new MDG system, so we have to ensure all the reference data has been configured. So if we have only one source system, that may not be a big challenge for us. But the big challenge come to us is when we have a different system, multiple systems, then we have to consolidate the reference data from all the systems, and do that configuration in our MDG system. Usually functional consultants use perform this activity. So let's say first system has different plants and second system different plants, third system different plants. So all these plants to be available in the MDG system. That is one more challenge here. So any other questions from anyone? Okay, so if no questions, so I would like to take you through the course structure. So this is our course agenda. Maybe here the date is wrong, don't mind. So it takes around 50 to 55 hours. So the demo sessions are for 1 hour. Demo sessions are today and tomorrow for 1 hour only. And the regular session starts from 3rd April. It's on weekdays, Monday to Friday. It's for 1.5 hour daily. And anytime if all the people are comfortable, we may take some extra sessions on weekdays also. It's only if everyone is available, or at least 80 to 90% are available. So with that, I could say it's a 50 to 50 hours, 55 hours. So if we don't consider any extra sessions, only the regular sessions, so it may take 2 months. But if we take extra sessions, so it will be reduced further. Okay. And what you can expect from the course. So max, I would be trying to cover real-time scenarios in our sessions, and I would be providing you the study materials. You could see here from my previous batch. So there are various study materials. Few are by SAP standard ones. They are good actually. And few are my own study materials. You can see if you take this is prepared by me. I would be providing you the study materials in this format. It would be having detailed steps, and you could see the SAP standard documents also. If I feel that standard documents is more than enough, so I would be providing you that one. Else I would be preparing my own and will be giving you the as existing one. And assignments, we'll be having the assignments as well. So here these are the assignments. So we'll be having the assignments here for each topic, and these are the submissions by my students, as well as for each concept we'll be having the assignments. This is the ongoing weekend match, it's going to complete, and we'll be having the real-time scenarios covered in the assignments as well. And we'll be doing the mock interviews. Maybe after reaching 40 to 50% of the course, we'll be conducting randomly mock interviews, and we'll be assisting you in the resume preparation. But there is no job assistance. You have to remember that one, because I'm not a running any consultancy or anything. I'm a freelance trainer, and I would be providing you the recording sessions. Okay, you can access the recording sessions whenever you miss the class, but you can't download the sessions. That's for the security purposes. And coming to the prerequisites. So we'll be having different kinds of participants. So from my previous batch, this is my fourth batch. So I could see different participants from different backgrounds. I had people from SAP background. I had people from SAP technical background, ABAP background. I had people from non-SAP background with domain experience. Even I had the college freshers also. But I could proudly say that they were able to understand, and they were able to, even the college freshers or even the functional people or even the people from non-SAP background were able to implement the code also. So for the prerequisite, if you want to be as a technical consultant, so you need to have the core ABAP background, OOPS ABAP, as well as enhancements, IDOCs. And if you have WebDeveloper or FPM knowledge, it's good. Otherwise, I will be covering that portion. And if you are a functional consultant, you need to have the domain background. But when the technical aspects come into picture in MDG, you just need to focus on listening. If you are interested, you can do and go and do the coding also. so that if you focus on listening what is happening, so that you will get some picture like how it happens and all those things. So this is our agenda. We'll be starting with the introduction and all these things. I don't want to go in detail. We'll be seeing what are the configurations required when for the new SAP MDG systems, and we'll be seeing the data modeling. We see what is SMT. There is something called SMT, data quality check, and we see the user interface modeling. We see something called process modeling, which mainly deals with the governance process flow. We have the replication, we have the data import, and we have the enriching of MDG standard code, nothing but MDG enhancement. Okay. So now, so we are using the platform of Google Classroom for having all our course details. So it will be created for each batch. So I just started this from the previous batch only. Okay. So here, whatever the announcements, if we, by any chance, if we don't have the class, so all these will be updated here. If any assignments are due, that will be updated here. But the total work will be, I find out here. So if you see, we have updated everything here: assignments, class notes, recordings, course content, everything. So these are the assignments, and these are the regular daily class notes. Okay, and these are the class recordings. If you go here, if you click on that, it will take you to the recorded session. Okay, so since I am the administrator, I can download, but the participants cannot download. They can view the recording. Okay, and course content will be updated here. Daily agenda. So it's a quick point of reference for you. So on daily basis, what are the topics covered? So if you want to say, see like where we had discussed about the, in which session we had discussed about MDG architecture. You can find it here. It's a day 3, 27 February, and you can go to the class recordings. So this is a quick reference. So you can go to the respective recorded session and find out there. Okay. That is the daily agenda. And interview questions, it's not yet started for them. And the presentations, whatever the PPTs I discuss in the class, that will be updated here. You can download, except the videos, you can download everything. And if any programs, you can find out here, and reference resumes, reference specs, and server access. So your server access can be updated here for each student separately. It's a privacy. Only you can access your own. And study materials. If we have any study materials, that will be updated here. So this is the platform that we are using, and we have the Google Calendar integrated, wherein you can access the our calendar invites, everything. So if you go to here, you could see. So this batch has the weekend classes. So if you click on this, it will give you a direct link to join the meeting. So you don't need to search your Gmail or anywhere to find out the meeting link and all. You can just come here and see the date. You could see the meeting link. Likewise. So this is the platform that we are using for our batch. And when your batch is started, I will be providing you the access to the previous batch also. Okay, but you will not be given access to assignments or anything, but only few class recordings, daily notes, and presentations. Likewise, whatever I feel comfortable, that access will be given to you. Okay, so that's all for today's demo. So do you have any questions on the course or whatever? you want to discuss?
Venkat, is this course is related to the functional background or technical background? What was the role we can able to,
Yeah,
you know?
it's meant for both. Generally,
Okay.
MDG is a techno-functional module. So to make it more clear, when we say functional, the concerned person should have the functional domain background. Let's say we have consultants, right? So the person who is from the background, so that guy can be considered as a MDG pure functional if he knows MDG also. Likewise, when we say MDG techno functional, that guy should be able to do the implementation of MDG as well as the functional configurations, all those things.
Okay.
But
Suppose if I
generally,
have the,
sorry,
sorry, go ahead. I can ask
yeah,
later.
generally I could see few many people when they say MDG techno functional, their idea is that maybe their third process is that okay, when we say MDG techno functional, if the guy is aware of only MDG configurations, then he is considered as techno functional. But it's not like if we know MDG configurations, then we can claim ourselves as MDG techno functional. If we also know the back core domain configurations, reference data configuration of module or BP, whatever it is, and how to do the SPRO configurations of or BP, and how to handle those things, then only we can consider that guy as a pure MDG functional consultant. And if he knows already the technical aspects, also coding and all, MDG techno functional. But in this course, we will be covering all the MDG relevant functional areas like configurations and everything. Yeah, go ahead with your question.
It means then I mean, who are the job role will be across all the functions, right? If a person is having the technical background, then he
Mhm.
would like to come. He would like to work as a techno functional. It's not specific to the single domain, or he can expand his role to
Yes.
other
Yeah.
modules as well, right?
Yeah. That guy can expand the role to other modules.
Okay.
So any
Venkat,
other? Yeah.
Venkat, this is Vamshi.
Yeah.
Uh, Mostly with which modules the data, these requirements will be coming for MDG? Like you are mentioning like that, any other modules which are
So
tightly
all these are
integrated?
the modules. So to make it more simple, BP, Finance, EAM, RFM. So far we have these modules implemented in MDG. Maybe the future pipeline will be there, but that we are not aware of.
Okay.
So when I say EAM, it's nothing but the plant maintenance.
Okay.
So any other questions from anyone? Okay, well, thanks for attending today's demo. I will be uploading this recording and will be sharing you the link. So you can go through this, and tomorrow also we have the demo at the same time. And in tomorrow's session, we are going to deep dive into MDG. We'll be seeing the MDG architecture. We have these architectures. So all those architectures and what are the out of the box applications and the governance process, everything we are going to see. And we'll see the system demo also. So, okay, that is for tomorrow's plan. Okay, thank you everyone. Bye bye. Have a good day.